Coming up in this episode, involves others in planning and allocates activities fairly and appropriately to abilities. A leadership and teamwork behaviour. Hello again, welcome back, and thank you for downloading this edition of High Performance Pilot, the show dedicated to improving our performance as aviation professionals. To do that, I embrace the core competency matrix and the behaviours contained within it, the skills, the knowledge and the attitudes, giving you the best chance of maximising your performance. Leadership and teamwork is the king of competencies and sets the scene for effective operation. It's supported by good knowledge and effective communication. The result? A cohesive team with great morale and a positive attitude. Without proficient leadership and teamwork, the whole matrix falls apart. Within this competency is the behaviour involves others in planning and allocates activities fairly and appropriately to abilities. Let's get into explaining it. Firstly, what is this behaviour about? The big picture what is about developing a positive dynamic by effectively utilising the team's resources and ensuring all members contribute according to their ability. At the same time, we need to appreciate that tasks should also challenge the ability of individual team members to enable development, crucially without reducing confidence. Success in this behaviour produces a team with a collaborative mindset, leading to colleagues who feel valued and contribute to the overall good of the team. Next up, why we need it. We need proficiency in this behaviour because it is part of leadership and teamwork, a competency that influences our proficiency in many of the other competencies. Problem solving and decision making. It's important for team leaders to demonstrate initiative, but to get the best result, we need input from our colleagues to provide the team with alternative options and to then stress test our decisions. By that, I mean scrutinise them for their relative benefit and risk. Workload management. If we don't allocate tasks fairly and appropriately, then we are not utilising our resources effectively. We are not using our team to its best capability and so not getting the required return. Situational awareness. Appropriate levels of situational awareness can only be achieved by team members that are invested in the planning process. They will be more likely to be projecting forwards and therefore less likely to be overloaded. Morale and team cohesion. Fostering a collaborative environment and ensuring that everyone's abilities are acknowledged and utilised enhances team morale and cohesion. This can only have a positive impact on team performance and therefore operational efficiency. Safety. The safety of our operation relies on threat and error identification and the subsequent understanding of the risks they present to us. By involving team members in the planning process, we are better able to identify and mitigate them. Here's how we can develop the behaviour of involves others in planning and allocates activities fairly and appropriately to abilities. Firstly, we need to create an open culture within the team by asking for input if you are the team leader or by giving input if you are a team member. Self-awareness. Developing self-awareness is essential for development. We must recognise our own strengths and limitations, allowing us to make informed decisions when planning and distributing tasks. Active communication. Effective communication is a cornerstone of this behaviour. Practice active listening, articulate your ideas clearly, and engage in constructive dialogue. Building strong communication skills is vital for successful collaboration. Ask for feedback. Establish your level of proficiency by asking questions of your team. Do they feel involved in the operation? Are they being utilised effectively? Do they want more responsibility? Equally, don't wait to be asked. Give feedback. If you feel you have more to give, say so. All members of the team should be open to constructive criticism and be willing to adapt their approach. This is a key attitude for self-development. Be empathetic in your approach to leadership and teamwork. Seek to understand individual strengths, weaknesses, and experience to enable effective task assignment. I repeat it every week. Effective operation requires us to understand the potential threats and errors and so allow us to avoid or mitigate them. Here are some of the threats incurred with a lack of proficiency in this behaviour. Poor decision making. Effective planning and task allocation are crucial for informed decision making. Poor team morale. A poorly utilised team lacks cohesion and effectiveness. At best, it lacks initiative. At worst, it compromises safety. Lack of situational awareness. If team members are not involved in planning or are overloaded, they might have compromised situational awareness. Poor threat identification. If the team is not utilised effectively, there is a risk that threats and errors will not be identified. For today's example, I return to the TDODA failure management acronym. Other models are available, and I'd like you, the listener, to take some time to think how this behaviour applies to maximising the effectiveness of our management of non-normal and emergency situations. Here are the key takeaways for today's episode. Involves others in planning and allocates activities fairly and appropriately to abilities is a behaviour from the competency, leadership and teamwork. Proficiency in this behaviour is essential to achieve effectiveness in many other competencies. It requires self-awareness, empathy and an ability to give and receive feedback. Lack of proficiency leads to poor threat identification and decision making. So there you have it. Involves others in planning and allocates activities fairly and appropriately to abilities, a behaviour from the competency, leadership and teamwork. I hope you found it useful, that you've heard something you can put into practice the next time you operate. High Performance Pilot has an ultimate aim: to stimulate interest in the core competencies and inspire you to seek them out and apply them to further improve your effectiveness as a pilot. Each week, one behaviour from one competency. We'll break it down and provide tips and advice on how to make it a strength in your operation. Join me next week. If you wish to contribute or ask a question, please email me at highperformancepilot@gmail.com. And finally, there is a growing list of episodes available on my YouTube channel. Just go to @highperformancepilot.